Hello everybody, Undermaker here. It has been a while since I worked on this. So the person in the last video, I also used something that makes, I don't know what it's called, but I used something to make it look better and more appealing to my audience. Um, First, so in the last episode, we worked on Loopy, a FNAF type character. No, Violence Against. You may have not played it. I don't really know. That is one of my games that I work on. So, the person in the comments of the last video wants me to do crediting. Or buttons, you know what I mean. I actually look it up now. Game, button, continue, credit, off, night's office. Yes, so today is going to be a big one. So if you want to not, if you don't want to use like the what Scratch gives you with the fonts, I do know a font site that you love really well. It's called Font Meme, and this is where I get my FNAF fonts. So I use Five Freddy's the Twisted Ones font, and I use Stalker when it comes to crediting and stuff like that, small text. So let's start with 2021 at Undermaker 12, or your Scratch name when you work on your. Then you have to make sure the picture pops up. Then you right click and then save it. So now let's import it in. Look at that. Now that seems a little too big. So you can just go to the costume or the size and move it down. And there you go, that's your crediting. You could do Scott Coffin for Five Freddy's. I don't really do that. That's kind of obvious on who makes Five Nights at Freddy's type of game. Alright, now let's do new game and continue, as the person said. So new game. If you have trouble seeing and you don't want to mistype something, turn it red for a few seconds. Type at new game. And then duplicate it. Then just change it to continue game. Those two. Then we're going to place them over here. Make sure they look nice. Try to make them at the same X, but if you can't, that's fine. Which I'm not gonna. So, now if you want to make it fancy, let's make these white first. If you want to make it look more different from the title, what you can just do is select it again, use the text thing. You can change it to one of these. I usually use this one, the middle one. I don't know what it's called. But looks really nice. Right now we're gonna make a costume, like for an arrow that shows that it's selecting. Now, how I do it is I take a red square and like this, then I copy the red square, bring it down, make sure it doesn't overlap. There you go, simple arrow. It doesn't have to be perfect, but for me, I'm kind of a perfectionist. So, there you go. There's your arrow. Now you can do more adjustments, or you could change it too. But I'm not gonna do that because we have other things to go to in this tutorial. Alright, now what you want to do is actually keep that. I accidentally messed up, but hopefully you copied that. Now you want to duplicate this new game thing. Don't copy it because yeah, I have the arrow, because usually you'll have the arrow selected, and if you pull something dumb like me where I delete the arrow thing, right, try and just right click and press duplicate. Alright, so now we have the second one up. You can barely see it, but it's there. Now that you have the arrow, let's move it down to where it fits. Like that. Now let's copy that arrow. Then let's bring it over to continue game. Make sure to duplicate the costume as well. And there you go. Now you have a select thing. Now the moment we've all been waiting for. Code. We haven't done much code lately. So let's start by first making a variable. Let's call it if can be selected. It means if you want the screen to fade to black when someone presses new game, it can't just the person will press new game, starts fading to black, then the player will hit continue or break the game. But what you want to do, if can be selected, we're gonna do if flag is clicked, we're gonna put yes, because this is gonna be the title screen. So then we want to grab a forever statement and an if else statement and an if statement. If, okay, now we're gonna grab an equal from operators. I'm sorry if I'm going a little too fast. So then we can grab the variable here, if can be selected equals yes, it, and if touching mouse pointer, this, if touching mouse pointer, it will make it this costume. Make sure it's the bottom one because this one has the arrow. Bottom one does. Then if not, and if else, like if it's not touching the mouse pointer, it will turn back to normal. So boom. Okay. Isn't that cool? Now if you want it to, not be exactly on the text, you can grab a black square and put the black square behind new game. Make sure it actually fits the screen so it doesn't overlap on anything. So now just copy, paste the arrow up a little bit so it fits inside the black square. So now in that general radius, it will select this. So you won't have any problems of flickering where the text would move because it's by itself. Alright, now we're just gonna, let's go back to game. First, let's make the black square for continue game. Now, this is gonna be a little bit difficult because it goes into the arms character. What we're gonna try and do is we're gonna try and make it not touch the arm of said character. See? Don't look like it's touching. Alright, let's move up the arrow as well. Selecting everything up the arrow. Alright. Now let's take the text from new game and just copy it. Sprite 4. Okay. And same thing for this. Touching mouse pointer, that. And make sure like the black squares are not touching, so it won't hit both at once. So now that we got the buttons and credit down, the next we're gonna work on is the night system. First, we're gonna add the the new game thing, and we're gonna do when sprite is clicked. So, and then we grab an if statement. If can be selected equals no, or I'm sorry, if not, I'm having a huge brain fart. If can be selected equals yes, set if can be selected to no. Then we're gonna do a message. We're gonna call it new game. Then what we're gonna do is we're gonna grab another black square, put it in front, and make it hide at the beginning, and make it at ghost 100. So when new game is activated, it will show change ghost by -1. Now we're going to get a repeat and do it at 100. You can pause at any time. I should let you know that. Alright, let's test it out. So, look at that. Now you might be wondering, hey, what if I don't want the arrow to appear? That is a simple solution. When just gonna make it easy, you could do an if-else statement with that. but I'm gonna make it easy for you guys. You just make it go to normal costume. It happens. And the same thing could happen for this. Continue game, we're gonna have to do that on a different episode. Because first we need to work on the night system. Let's close YouTube. Open. Now you could use a newspaper stuff where you just make it appear. We're just gonna get straight to the night system. You can, if you want a newspaper scene type of thing, just ask in the comments. Alright. Now, this is the not so fun part. For nights, I use this font because it looks clean. I'm gonna make it real big. Make it at 0, 0. Make sure it's in the middle of this. Then we're gonna copy it till 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now it really depends on what type of fan game you're doing. It could be 1 night, 2 nights, 3 nights, etc. I'm just gonna do the simple 7. 1 week long. Now make it all white. Or whatever color you want. It could be green, orange, etc. You don't have to follow my instructions to the exact. And boom. Okay, now we're gonna go back to the black thing that showed the black screen when new game happens. We're gonna do wait 2 seconds. I'm gonna do night. So when night happens, it's kind of a break time for the project. So let's first make this black thing in the background show. Copy it to all of this. And then when it receives night, it will hide. So not much assets will be shown. Same thing for these. Alright. Now we make sure night hides. See? Alright. So the night thing happened and everything is gone. See? When I hide the black square, everything's gone. Alright, now we're gonna do night. When it receives night, it will show, but if grab an if else statement, we're gonna copy into 1, 2, 3, 4. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then 7. Make sure you pay attention carefully, kids. So now we're going to make a new variable called night. I see that your attentions are starting to draw off of this video. Hopefully not. So night equals one. If night equals 1, it'll change to that. But first, when it receives new game, it will always set night to 1. Always. So night, let's actually name these real quick. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Night equals 1. There you go. Just making my life easier over here. Four, 5, 6, 7. If night equals, copy that a bunch of times. Two, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There you go. Now, let's set the night to night 1. So if it shows night 1, let's set it to night 4. Night 4. Ain't that neat? Alright, so what it should do is be like this. Night 4, or let's set it to night 1. Now sound design, that will be in next video, because that's going to be a biggie. It's going to be a big video. Alright, it shows up. Then let's make it wait 2 seconds. And we're gonna make it fade away. Let's set ghost to 0. Then we're gonna change ghost by 1. And then it will hide once complete. Then we're going to do another 2 seconds. And we're going to do office. Now office. Let's name this real quick. Now the office. That is very important. Of any game. Game mechanics or anything like that. So to make an office, what you want to start with is your wall design. So let's say I want a hot pink wall. Now, do you want your players to want to say? Do you want your players to say this? I don't want to stare at bright pink. So let's make it darker, a little grayish, so it at least looks more appealing to the eyes. Now let's grab uh, let's do the outline. Then you just make the color of this darker. So it's like this. Make it 0, of course. There we go. Sure, it's actually centered. Then make the walls different. And we're going to take these two, shift click, and bring it down. Bring this one back up. Now let's actually make it a little bigger so it's not very compact. Now the floor is probably not going to be bright pink unless you want that. So we're just going to make a simple gray floor. Like this. Make sure it's centered. And I'm wondering, your character looks like he's looking down. Make the wall go down a little bit. Bring these down a bit. Now this is like a temporary looking office. We'll add design in a later episode. You want to make sure it looks good so the players won't be turned away. Alright. Interesting. There you go. Now you got your office. Ain't looking like much, but we can change it to look better. Alright, this is the temporary office. I am gonna change it definitely. Because it looks like your character's looking down on something. So, this is like just a thing that will show. So when office shows up, this thing will disappear. And this will show. Alright, let's test it out. New game. Night 1. Make trades. Boom, office. Again, office is temporary. It will be changed, definitely. Alright, that is it for now. Thank you for joining me in this adventure. And thank you guys for so much for watching. I will be making another video this week. As one, I'm on spring break. I should be. So let me know what you want next in the comments. See you later. Bye bye.